We're back with another episode of the Dad's Making a Difference podcast. Today, I'm rocking solo and I'm talking about the number one way I've realized in the last 2 weeks that I can be a better dad and a better husband. And it's not what you might think because the kids are heading back to school. The summer is done. We're getting back into the routine of things and we all want to be a dad making a difference. But I'm going to tell you the best way for you right now to be a better dad is to ditch your kids. Seriously. This episode is all about 3 key benefits to ditching your kids and how it's going to make you a better husband and a better dad. This episode, the Dad's Making a Difference podcast, starts right now. Well, my friend, here is the secret to becoming a better husband and a better dad. This is what I discovered over the last 2 weeks. And the answer is simple. To be the best dad, you need to ditch your kids. I'm serious. Listen, hear me out here. Over the last 2 weeks, I have been able to spend time with Kim, just the two of us, because our kids were away at their grandparents. So I want to share a little bit of how this took place. About 15, 16 days ago, I drove out with my kids 8 hours to their grandparents' house. I dropped them off on a Thursday. I got up on the Friday and I drove back home. And they have been there until today. Today is September the 1st. So they have been there over the last 2 and a little bit weeks. Now, I want to share my experiences as a dad, my experiences as a husband over those 2 weeks, and give you 3 key benefits of ditching your kids. Because I don't mean ditch your kids all the time, because we are present, intentional fathers. The guys on this podcast, you listening to it right now, I have no doubt that you benefit from being around your kids. But there is a benefit in ditching your kids, in being time and space away from them. So over the last 2 weeks, Kim, my wife, and I have been able to share some time together. The first weekend, I went and dropped them off. I came back home and Kim and I woke up on the Saturday. Hey, what are we going to do? Because so often in our world, we find that now that our kids are 10 and 12, the world tends to revolve around them a little bit. We're being very conscious in this and being able to prioritize our family, to prioritize our relationship. But it doesn't always work out that way. Let's be real. It doesn't. When our kids are in activities or we're on holiday vacations, the kids take a lot of energy, take a lot of attention. They're always there. I love them, but they're always there. And there's lots of questions. There's lots of outings with them. There's so much going on. And one of the things that I found over the summer are family adventures. I share them online and share them on our Facebook page and Instagram page. Our family adventures are fantastic. But even through those family adventures, Kim and I never really have time just to connect with the two of us. We camp, we travel, we do these things as a family, and I love every minute of it. But coming back from this summer, in the middle of August, we were a little bit tired. Not tired of each other, but we were just tired. And Kim and I were not having meaningful conversations. I'll just say it. Like, we have a good relationship. It didn't feel its best. The spark wasn't there. The maybe attractiveness to each other had worn off a little bit over the summer. We go through these stages as husband and wives. We do. Honestly, we do. We've been together now since 2003, 21 years. It happens. And we were tired. And I think that this visit to the kids' grandparents came at the perfect time. On the Saturday after the kids went, we embarked on an adventure day. We went out to Waterton National Park, which is one of our favorite places. We start this hike somewhere we've never been before. That spontaneity in itself doesn't happen when the kids are there. And when the kids are around, we feel like we always have to have a plan, like we're trying to be responsible. Do you ever feel that way? Like you have to be responsible and have it all figured out when your kids are around? Well, I do. And so when we were just Kim, myself, and our dog Bella, and when we were just the 3 or 2 of us and our dog, we felt that we could be more spontaneous. We woke up in the morning like, hey, let's head out to the mountains and do a hike. Perfect. 15, 20 minutes were packed and out. Man, I forgot what that was like. Not the hour and a half, 2 hours to get everybody ready. But in the 15 to 20 minutes, we just packed our food for the day. We got everything ready and we headed out to the mountains. Super spontaneous. Then we didn't know what hike we were going to do. We get into Waterton National Park. We take a road last minute. We get to the end and then we pick a hike. It's a hike that we had never done before. So we embark on this hike, 4.5 kilometers in. We pretty easy going. Then we hit this hike. We get up, and I think I shared this before on the podcast. We get up this hike and we're getting to the top, and we look. We're about 2 kilometers from the lake. It's super hot, no shade. The dog's with us, and I look at this rock wall, and I'm like, "There's no way that we can get up there." And we find our way up. The trail's cut into the side of the mountain. It was an incredible experience. We got to the top. Eventually, it took us 3 hours to get to the lake, and we went for a swim. We had our lunch. It was amazing, and we walked back. Fantastic day. But here is one of the things I noticed on that. And here is one key benefit. I'm going to give you 3 key benefits in this episode. This is the key benefit number 1. There's a benefit in reconnecting through shared adventures. Because when Kim and I started that hike, for the first 20, 30 minutes, we talked about the kids. We talked about what they might be doing at their grandparents. We talked about activities that they were going to be doing in the fall. We talked about everything that was coming up, back to school, what we need to shop for, all these things in our life that we tend to, I would say, distract ourselves with. They are important things, but we distract ourselves from our relationships with these things. And after that first 30, 45 minutes, Kim and I were talking, it's almost like we ran out of things to talk about. We've been together 21 years and we ran out of things to talk about. And for about 20, 30 minutes, again, like I said, it was a 3-hour hike up and 2.5 hours down. For the next 30 minutes, it was silence. It wasn't awkward silence. We just hiked, we walked, we held hands. It was great. We looked at the mountains, a lot of like, oh, it's so beautiful here, that type of stuff, but no conversation. And I think there was a moment in time on that walk where we were almost like, oh, what do we talk about? What do we have to say? And then it was just like random things. But, oh, did you see that over there? You see that? Oh, that reminds me of when we used to fill in the blank. That reminds me of that time we went to fill in the blank. And what we started to see and what I started to feel was that Kim and I were having authentic conversations. We were having conversations that we haven't had every day. We talk about the kids every day, things that are coming up every day. But in that moment, we just started to be together, have spontaneous conversation. And it was beautiful. And for the remainder of that hike, up and down, we just talked about us, our life, what we were seeing, what we dreamed about. We challenged each other on some things. We really got to reconnect. And I don't want to overlook this, guys. The key benefit of reconnecting through shared experiences is that there is an importance in creating new memories together. So in this moment, we created a new memory together doing this incredible hike, but this new memory that we were creating in the midst of our conversations, that helped us connect with each other. It helped us become a better team. We had to navigate some pretty sketchy parts of that climb with our dog, and it was teamwork, it was collaboration and communication, and we felt like a unit. And I'm going to tell you, coming back from that hike and that day, and we went out for dinner and we walked by the lake and then we got some ice cream, the whole thing, we felt like a unit. We were unified. We were together. We were present with each other. We are in love with each other. And when our kids are there, we don't always feel that. So the key benefit number 1 was us reconnecting through a shared adventure. And so I want to encourage you as kids go back to school, as you are back into the routines of things. I don't know about you, but our kids fire up in all their activities. I want to challenge you, and I'm going to challenge myself in my relationship. You need to plan a getaway, a day trip, a date, no kids, just focusing on being present in the moment with your spouse. Trust me, guys, ditching the kids helps. It helps you become a better husband and it helps you become a better father. And I'm going to get to that part because my kids came home today and I feel like a better dad already. I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. Okay. Key benefit number 2 of why you should ditch your kids. Like this, maybe we shouldn't call the podcast this, why to ditch your kids, but hey, maybe we will. The power of uninterrupted conversations. Now, in that adventure, we go through the week, we had dinners together, we went on date nights, we walked the dog, there was no distractions, we talked in the morning. Like these uninterrupted conversations that we don't normally get because there's always activity. So the key benefit number 2 of ditching your kids is that you have that power of uninterrupted conversations. We got to eliminate distractions. We put our phones aside. I find that there's times, yeah, guys, we all do it. We hide. Maybe you're a washroom hider, whatever it is, but we hide behind our screens. We hide behind our phone. We just want to tune out and scroll for a moment. When it was just Kim and I didn't feel like I needed to do that. I didn't feel tired and run down. I wanted to connect more. And I'm going to challenge you to eliminate distractions because distractions like our phones or eliminating distractions of life distractions like our conversations about our kids or finances, that allowed us to have deeper, more meaningful conversations. And in deeper, more meaningful conversations, we were able to connect with each other and fall in love with each other. We've always been in love, but we felt it. We felt it in that time. So I just wanted to highlight how these talks can help us as couples rediscover each other's thoughts, dreams, concerns. Kim and I got to share all three what we were thinking about, what we were dreaming about, a vision we had for our family, but also the concerns we had heading into the fall. Concerns about we talked a little bit about our kids, but more about our family's well being. Kim and my relationship, our marriage, where we were heading, what we wanted to prioritize. And we were able to dig through those conversations because they were uninterrupted. These were long conversations. When we were hiking, an hour or two long. In the vehicle, traveling, day trips, we went to Glacier National Park last weekend. The first time I've ever been there. Incredible, incredible day. But so many hours together uninterrupted. And so I'm going to suggest that you set a time each week. It can be a date night or a quiet evening in your home where the focus is on genuine conversation. And that means you might have to send your kids out. You might have to get a babysitter. You might have to drop the kids off at practice and not stay and watch practice. Maybe you drop them off at an hour and a half, 2-hour practice, and you leave and you get an hour date night in. You need to have uninterrupted conversations. Okay, so that's a key benefit number 2. Go back to number 1, reconnecting through shared adventures. You need to have adventures together. Key benefit number 2, by ditching your kids, you get the power of uninterrupted conversations. Now, number 3, and it may seem simple, but it's really important. There is value of just simply being together, not beside each other, but together, united, present, engaged with each other. Because when I reflect over the last 2 weeks, there was simple joy in just us being together without any specific agenda or plan or things we needed to do or a to-do list. Whether it was having dinner, sitting outside, watching a movie, having a fire in our backyard, like just being together and not being distracted. So these moments for Kim and I, we're talking about this last night over the phone as the kids went to bed there and she was about to make their road trip out today. It's just how over the last 2 weeks, we were able to strengthen our bond together. And we were able to strengthen our bond by reinforcing that we are important to each other. And that presence alone is valuable. Your presence with your spouse is valuable. Their presence to you is valuable. Yes, when the kids are around, we want to be present for everyone. But guys, if we try to do that all the time, it's exhausting. But when you are just with your wife, man, you can just dig in. You don't even have to say anything, right? Just being together is powerful. So, like I said in key benefit number 2 of uninterrupted conversations. I suggested that you set aside each week a date night, my time together. I'm going to encourage you to prioritize this. Prioritize regular, undistracted time with your spouse, even if it's just a quiet night at home. So when you are together, you feel like a better husband. So we look at those 3 key benefits again of ditching your kids, reconnecting through shared adventures, the power of uninterrupted conversations, and the value of simply being together. You're going to feel like a better husband. But I want to give you something. When my kids got home today, I was so excited to see them. And they were so excited to see me. We had FaceTimed every day of the week. We had talked. We loved each other. So we connect all the time. They were texting me, whatever it was. But to see each other in person and have them run into the house and give me a big hug and hugs and kisses and laughter and tickling and all of it, I just felt refreshed. Kim and I both felt refreshed, like that we could actually pour into these 2 young people that we loved so much. And we're shaping them and we want to be good examples to them. And we felt that by having a 2-week break, which I know not all of us have that opportunity. This is the first time in our marriage we've ever been able to do this. This is the longest time we have ever had without our kids. And we found that we were able to recharge and we're able to be more present and we're excited about heading back to school and all the activities. We just needed that time. And I feel like a better dad. I played catch with my son today. I shot hoops with my daughter today. We just sat in the backyard over a fire and just spent time together telling adventures of the last 2 weeks. What Kim and I were talking about, what we loved about being together without them. And they're like, you missed us. I'm like, yeah, of course we missed you. But did you have fun without your mom and dad? And then they had lots of fun with their cousins and grandparents and everything. It was good for all of us. So I just want to take a few minutes just to recap this because I want to really encourage you to ditch your kids, to be able to put an hour a week away, 2 hours a week. Maybe it's a date night. Maybe it's a getaway where you can drop them off at your grandparents' house. And I want to recap the importance of dedicating time to your relationship by stepping away from your daily routines and responsibilities. You're heading into the fall, everything's starting up. We're getting back into the quote unquote routine of things. I'm going to challenge you to step away from the daily routines and responsibilities and prioritize each other. And I'm going to invite you to try out these 3 strategies with your spouse. And I want you to share your experiences with me. I want to see it. Tag me at Dad's Making a Difference on Instagram. Tag me, please, when you're having these experiences, right? Reconnecting through shared adventures, power of uninterrupted conversations, the value of simply being together. Share with me what you've got out of those experiences. So try out those 3 strategies with your spouse this week. I'm going to end with this. I'm going to encourage you to plan your own no kids allowed time. No kids allowed. Throw them in the basement. Send them outside with friends. But I want you to put it on your calendar. And I'm going to encourage you to do this on the regular. Plan it out on a Saturday or on a Sunday where you can spend time just with your spouse. So here we are. 3 key benefits for ditching your kids, because I love my kids, but I can honestly think that there's times where I prioritize them over Kim. There's times where I give them more of my attention. There's times I might give them more of my love. There's times I might give them more of my affection, my conversation, my intentions. And I realized that over the last 2 weeks, I was able to pour into my wife. And because I was able to do that, to be more intentional with her, uninterrupted with her, adventure with her, be together with her, that together we are stronger as a team. We're stronger as a unit. We are able to overcome obstacles that will stand in our way this fall. And I want that for you, because to be a dad making a difference, I first need to be a husband making a difference. So put your energy in the most important relationships. And if you do that, your relationship with your kids is going to benefit, because they're going to see mom and dad are united. They're going to see mom and dad on the same team, on the same page, that they love each other. My son is going to see how a man should love a woman and hold her up and encourage her and respect her. And my daughter's going to see how a man that she should in her life find respects women, and cares for them, and how I love her mother. So there, my friend, a little solo episode for you this week on the Dads Making Difference podcast. I just wanted to share my thoughts, those 3 key benefits of ditching your kids. Now dig in, some alone time together, date night together. Share it with me at Dads Making a Difference on Instagram. Just tag me. I'd love to share you out to our community and celebrate you. I appreciate you, and I'm excited for you this fall because I think in the next 3 to 4 months, there's going to be a huge change in your life. You are going to have a new trajectory, a positive trajectory. So maybe something is hard coming out of the summer. Maybe you're kind of not looking forward to heading back to school in the routine, and coming out of the summer adventures is a little bit of a downer for you. I want you to hold your head up. You have power in this. You can do this. We are dads making a difference. I appreciate you, my friend. If this is a powerful episode for you, or these 3 strategies for teaching your kids are impactful and someone else needs to hear it, please share this episode, like it, subscribe. We want this podcast to grow. We want more men to hear it, and it's going to come down to you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of the Dads Making a Difference podcast.